Hey everybody, it's that time of month. It is June 2026 and it is Philosophy of a Photo Artist. A lot to cover here. Number one, we're going to talk about a big thank you to our subscribers. Number two, we're going to talk about some issues coming up with templates and some comments I got back in private emails. Number three, we're going to take a look at some of your subscribers, your images. I'm going to talk about those and a website from one of our subscribers. And then the very last thing I'm going to talk about is other categories of photography I would like to cover on this channel. Are we ready for this? There's a lot to cover. Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, this is dedicated to photography and as a photo artist, pushing ourselves creatively out of the box. All right, if you've never been to my Saturday session, I try to do this once a month for the new people. If you don't know about it, I try to reflect on things that happened a month before. And so since this is June, the Philosophy of a Photo Artist edition, I'm going to cover some issues that came up last month in the month of May. So number one, I'm going to start out with a big thank you for the people that are supporting this channel. They know that this is not a big channel. It's very small. There's a list of names right here. And these are the people that contributed on a volunteer basis to the channel by going to buymeacoffee.com/Stephen Photo Artist. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but you'll see the link right here on the screen. It's also in the show notes. So again, I'm going to keep this list up at quite a bit of a list from the month of May. So everybody, again, thank you very much. I'm going to share with you a little bit of what I'm going to be doing in this channel in the future and where some of this money, in fact, some of it, all of it, because I'm actually barely breaking even on this channel and operating it. But I'm going to invest in some things for this channel so I can do some bigger and better things for you. I'll talk about that toward the end of this video. So again, for the ones that have been contributing to this, thank you again very much. And this is, again, the list of names that people contributed in the month of May. I'd like to say also that many have donated 2 or 3 times. That doesn't show that. Their name just appears one time only. So I just need to let you know that because I know some of you have done this again 2 or 3 times. So again, thank you very much. And let's get on to the next session. And that is some concepts I had and issues, not major issues, but some comments and private emails that came back regarding the templates that I was showcasing the last few weeks. Are we ready? Let's get into it. All right, before I get into the concept of the templates, I would like to emphasize that if you guys want to privately make suggestions to me rather than going to the comment section on YouTube, my email address is right here at stephenphotoartist@gmail.com. Feel free to contact me. And I've got to do some follow-up with some people that I thought I'd be able to do some things this month. I'm going to have to push it to July this year. So I'm going to mention that in this segment right here. So let's first of all talk about the templates. Now, for the new people, sometimes I get questions that come back to me. Well, what's the big deal about these mock-up templates and whatever? It's just a very creative way of showcasing your artwork, your photography images in a unique, different way. That's all it is. And most of the templates that I'm creating are coming from you people. You are ones that are making suggestions. Hey, could you figure out how to do something that looks something like this, whatever? And so I did a couple of those in the last few weeks. If you didn't see those, I'll put the links in the show notes. But one was this right here that somebody had forwarded to me that was done by an interview that Martin Osner had done with somebody that was done, and they sent me an image and said, could you figure out how to create this in Photoshop and make it as a template? So it looks like this. This is the template. And I asked you people, is this something you'd want to showcase on buymeacoffee.com? Let me know in the comments and private emails. So I got hit with a lot of those, especially on the private email side. And also the one I just did last week that had to do with reflections that look like this right here. And again, I got a lot of private emails back to me and some comments again on YouTube that, yes, could you please offer that on buymeacoffee.com? So if you've never been there before, And then I've got a couple other ones on the books I got to work on. But if you've never been there before, again, the link will be in the show notes. But basically, it's buymeacoffee.com/Stephen Fodor Artist. And when you go there, you tend to land on the home page. And this is where, if you just want to donate a coffee or more, that's right there. It's $3 a coffee. But if you go to the extra tab, this is where you're going to find all the different say, templates and concepts that you could purchase. And I try to keep things very reasonable. You're going to see that most of the stuff there is going to be like $5 to $7. They come with a training video. There's a promo video. So in other words, like the Palladium one, which I'm going to show some examples that were sent to me by the subscribers here. But if I click on this and a dialog box opens up, this is the promo video. So it just shares with you what this is about, what is the template concept there, what you're getting in terms of the training video and the templates, that kind of stuff. And then if you like it, you could donate or actually purchase it for $7. And it's a way of supporting the channel. So with that out of the way, what I want to talk about is I will put those two things up that I just showed you, and they'll be $5 each. And so I have to do a promo video for that. I have to package it for buymeacoffee.com with a thumbnail. That does take a while to do, plus a training video for that. And I'll try my best to get it done by the end of this month. I can't promise that. If I can't, it'll be the very beginning of July. Now, let's talk about a little bit that I am behind on some things. So there's a couple of people I need to talk about. You know who you are if you are watching this. Hopefully you are. And that is, I'm just going to say this. Susan, I didn't forget you. Susan asked if there's a way that I could create something that looks similar to what's called a Polaroid emulsion lift. Here's just an example of that right here on the screen. And I got an idea how I'm going to do that. And I'd love to record that because I'm going to shoot that concept in my home studio. And then I'm going to pull what I shot out and create this in Photoshop because this is what she was asking for. I thought I'd be able to get it this June. I'm sorry, I'm behind. I'm going to have to push that out to July. Also, let's see, there's another one, and that is Mike. Mike is asking about a reflection, sort of a reflection in water that looks like this. This is an image that he had sent me. And is it possible for me to do this in Photoshop? And again, I thought I'd be able to get to it this month of June, but I'm going to have to push that out to July. So I'm sorry, Mike, on that, but it's just... everybody knows this, or not everybody, most people know this, but I am retired. I actually did my last client work of May. I should have retired sooner, but I couldn't say no to clients and I had to put my foot down. So last year in May was my last client work. I'm going to be 75 this year. I want to get into other areas in photography, but I also do other things that are not related to photography that I'm not going to get into or talk about. But my point is that I'm doing this on a part-time basis. I love to share what I've learned from very successful people. I mentioned this before, that 90% of what I share with you, I have learned from very successful people out there that have been full-time in this industry. I'm not taking credit for that. 10% is me, yes, but I need to emphasize that a lot of the stuff, okay, I learned from other people, and I'll try my best to mention who that was as I share this information with you. So that's enough about templates and a little bit about background, but yes, I will showcase those two templates that I did showcase the last few weeks. It'll be on buymeacoffee.com. There'll be $5 each for those. Hopefully I'll have that up by the end of the month, if not beginning of July. All right, let's get into the next issue, and that has to do with some of the subscribers and some of the images that you have sent me. So are you ready? Let's get into this. Okay, as I get into these subscriber images here, I just want to make a quick announcement regarding this. Please feel free to email me one or two of your images that you would like me to showcase based on what you've learned on this channel. I get excited when people send stuff that, on videos I've done in the past, on techniques, and they learn something. And the big thing is they applied what they learned. So that gets me all motivated and happy to see people taking action on all this stuff. But one thing I want to announce is I'm going to have to limit it to 2 images only. It's okay to do a before and after if you want to send that. Like, here's the before image and here's after. I'll count that as 1, but don't send 10, 6 images or whatever. Let's minimize that a little bit. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one right here. And this came from Kathleen, and Kathleen did a beautiful close-up, in my opinion, of an image here. And I don't even know what kind of flower that is or what kind of plant that is. But she took this and she used the Palladium mock-up technique that's at buymeacoffee.com, and she came up with something like that. So I really like what she's doing. And again, she's applying what she's learning, or she bought, one of the templates and experimented with that to apply to her image. Another one, by the way, Kathleen, incredible photograph right there. I love it. And then she took that again and did the Palladium technique to give it a different, unique look and stuff. So I'm happy that you're learning things and you're applying things from some of the mock-ups that we have at buymeacoffee.com. That's really cool. All right, the next one is coming from Mike, and Mike had sent me this, and it's a video I did quite a few weeks ago on the Adamski effect. And basically, he's calling this car in motion, and I think he did a great job on this. And again, it excites me when somebody learns something from the channel and then takes the initiative to apply it to their work. It just, again, a lot of satisfaction for me when I see people do that. So, Mike, great job. Thank you for sending the image in. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, the next one that we're going to go to, and see, I got to look this up. This is by Art, and this was the reflection box that I showed, weeks ago, if not months ago, and had built a template for this that came from one of the subscribers. They said, hey, could this be built as a template in Photoshop? So I actually showed how that was done, and I offered it on buymeacoffee.com, and a lot of people had purchased that. So again, thank you for the ones that did that. And I love this silhouette look of, now I'm going to guess, because it's hard to tell because of the way this was shot, but this could be a motorcycle, but it could be an electric bike, because I own an electric bike, and it's sort of got that look, so don't know, what it is, but I'm going to guess it's an electric bike with probably 4-inch wheels width on the wheels and stuff like that. So this came from Art. So Art, thank you for sending that in. Again, this looks awesome in that reflective box. So great job. And then the next one came from Steve, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Steve here in a minute, but Steve sent me this image, and this was the reflection one I did a week ago. And this is, again, a template I'm offering at buymeacoffee.com because you people are asking, yes, put it up there, put it up there. So hopefully it's up there by the end of this month of June or the beginning of July. And again, it'll be $5. But the template I created in the showcase, I actually added something that I didn't do live when I recorded the session. And that was I added a shadow effect behind the images here. And Steve had asked, could I show how I did that? And there's a lot of different ways, Steve, that it could be done, but I'll put that out as a bonus video, and it'll probably come out like on a Monday or Friday. Hopefully I'll get it done for this month as a quick extra video, but I'll do that for you. But I love his work, did a great job. And he also sent me an email with a link to his website. So I'd like to showcase his website here. So let's take a look at that right now. All right, so here's the link to Steve's website. Let me zoom on that right there in the upper left-hand corner for you. Feel free to go there. It's stevecomstockphotography.com. And when he sent me the email, he asked me what I thought of it. And I'm just going to share with you what was pounded in my head by Joel Grimes and other people very successful in the industry that, again, is in business. And Steve, I mean, first of all, it's a commitment to do what you're doing right here. This is incredible website that you put together with your gallery. I love the way that you broke it down into different categories here: wildlife, landscape, sports, that kind of thing. His latest images right there. I know it takes a lot of time to put together something like this. Let me just go to landscape as an example here, so you can look at some of the stuff. Let me just pick on one of the images. What I want to emphasize, Steve, when you said, what do I think about your work and your website? Well, I'm going to come back and basically say what Joel Grimes and Peter Colson and others have told me, and that is, it's not what I think about your work. It's about what you think about your work. Do you like what you are doing? It's very subjective. Everybody has their own opinions on work. Now, I'm not a landscape photographer. I like what I see here, but the point is, if you're a landscape photographer, do you think other ones would like this? And the answer is going to be some will and some won't. It's just like the example that was given to me is that a lot of people like Andy Warhol's work and a lot don't. A lot of people like Picasso's work and a lot don't. So the point is, you can't do stuff that's going to satisfy everybody. It's impossible. You go with your work, get good at it, keep beating it to death, and your audience will find you. And that's what I was told. When I started doing the sort of like Norman Rockwell type style of work I did with children photography I was doing with the prints and stuff, the canvas prints, I know a lot of people didn't like it, but a lot did like it. And the ones that liked it paid a premium. They wanted that work. And so I just ignore the people that don't like things. It's really goes back to, it's not what I like, it's what you like. And if you are happy with it, now let's change the story. Let's say that you look at your work and go, I'm just not happy with my work. And I go, well, why not? I mean, what bothers you about your work? And so you have to analyze your work. And if I said, well, what bothers you about your work? And you go, I just don't know. Well, can you show me examples of work in landscape as an example that you really admire? I don't really have. Well, there's number one. You need to find work from other landscape photographers that you really like, take screen captures of them, and analyze what do you like about it. And it takes time to do that. And you got to write down what you like about those. And it sort of leads you to a path of what I need to do to change my imagery to get to a point that I like what I'm doing. So back to your website and stuff. I love the commitment you're doing. I think you're doing a great job. I love it. But again, I'm not a landscape photographer, a wildlife photographer. And, I'm sure there's other ones out there that might look at this and say, and other ones are going to go, wow, this is really great. So again, the key thing is you're doing a good job. I'm jealous. Your website's awesome compared to mine. And I'm going to tell you something. My business, when doing client work and stuff, my website did not attract business because my marketing strategy was totally different. The only reason, to be honest with you, the reason I had a website is I did speaking engagements at conferences, and you're expected to have a website, right? So I would put stuff up there just to have a link to showcase that. But it never really got me work because my strategy was totally different. And that's why I was speaking at these different functions and how I use my Photoshop skills to market myself to get business. So I was flying under the radar to get work in a different way. But again, I think you're doing a great job. So Steve, that's for you right there. And now let's move to the last issue, and that is going to be other categories I want to cover here on this channel that has to do with photography. So let's get into it. All right, the last issue I want to talk about, and that has to do with what am I going to be doing in the future here on this channel. And I'd like to expand some things and cover other categories of photography and take you with me behind the scene and share with you what I'm learning. So an example, you've known for years, the ones that have been following me, that I typically photograph people. I mean, I was doing children a lot, high school seniors, weddings, photographing models. They're all people, right? So you have to be able to, to communicate with the people and work with them and adapt to their style and stuff like that. And so I got really good with that stuff, but that's all I did. So I've never really done, focused on, okay, I'm going to do some landscape photography. I'd like to try street photography, some painting with light techniques for indoor and maybe outdoors. And the list goes on and on and on. Here's the quandary. Number one, I could never be above average in any of those categories because you have to pick a category and just focus your energy on that. In other words, if I want to get really good at landscape photography, I need to focus like 80% of my energy doing nothing but landscape photography and analyzing my work and making changes and modifications, that kind of stuff. I don't have that time. I've mentioned before, I'm turning 75, retired. I want to experience other categories because I want to stay active in doing things, but I want to share that with you and what I learned in these different categories. So to do that, I need to invest in some equipment. So it's important to let you know that the money that I'm making, which is not a lot from like buymeacoffee.com, and I'm barely doing a little over $100 a month from YouTube money. So, you do the math on that. It's not a lot of money when I've got expenses of updating softwares and other things to operate this channel and that. But I'm looking at buying a piece of equipment because if I do stuff in the studio, the lights are going to be low, and I don't have anything that does good video with low light. It's just terrible. And so I'm looking at this. I'm going to share with you. Now, I'm doing my research on this. I don't know if I'm going to pull the gun on this, but it's by Insta360. They just came out with this. I've been watching people that have been using this and getting, their opinion on the pros and cons of this, but it's supposed to have really good low light capability. And it's something called Luna Ultra, Insta360 Luna Ultra right here. And again, if you want to check this stuff out, I'm not here to promote, again, their equipment and stuff, but it looks like it's going to meet my needs of shooting in low light videos because I want to do, again, behind the scenes stuff for you. And the other thing it has is a remote that pulls off the unit like this. That comes standard, and it will actually follow you where you're at. And there's a built-in mic into this, and I can control the unit if it's sitting on a tripod or something, which would make my life easier because, again, this is a very small channel. I don't have the luxury of having another person, video record, and I'm not the greatest in video behind the scenes recording and editing, that kind of stuff. I'm not a video person, but I want to share some of the, background stuff of me out there walking in the streets, taking photographs if it's street photography, and talk about what I'm learning as I'm doing this and sharing this out with you. Also, if I'm going to work in my home studio to do some unique things, I want to do some behind the scenes and close-up stuff and do the videos and, and do the editing and stuff to showcase that on this channel. So I just want to let you know that any money that is coming in with this, I want to put back into the channel. I am a very lucky person. I feel very fortunate. I don't have to have a YouTube channel. I don't have to go out and make extra money to pay my bills. I'm very fortunate. I feel very blessed regarding that. But running a channel takes a commitment of time and money. And my goal is just to break even. And as I get ahead a little bit, I'm putting stuff back into the channel to share back with you people. So that is my entire goal all the time. So I think it's important that you know that. All right, with that rant out of the way, thanks for sticking with me on this if you came to the end. Let's get the camera out. Let's make mistakes. Why? Because we learn from making mistakes. And let's think creatively out of the box. And I mean literally out of the box. Until next time, see ya.